Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for joining this ECOSYSTEX Insights Series webinar on the 23rd of January on this beautiful Friday morning. While people are arriving, I will do a bit of housekeeping and remind you that this webinar is being recorded and will be shared on public channels. Any questions you might have during the webinar, you're very welcome to type them in the chat, mentioning the speaker they are for, and then we will address them during the Q&A. And should we have time to go a bit more into detail, you can also elaborate on your question by then raising your hand, and then also we will give you the rights to use your camera and microphone, of course, to speak up. So that's really business as usual. In case you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Tilla Cross and I work at an organization called Textile ETP as Sustainability Programs Officer. And what is it that we at Textile ETP do? Well, we are the largest community of research and innovation professionals in Europe, and we bring together over 250 member organizations from 29 different European countries. That could be universities, clusters, companies, all working on research, development, and innovation for textiles and clothing. And we have these three different main services that we offer our members. So, of course, as a networking organization, one of our pillars is bringing our members together, organizing in-person conferences, and also some online networking platforms. And of course, we inform everyone of what's happening in the EU bubble on social media and in our newsletters. Then we also have different learning activities organized in 3 different innovation hubs, one for circular and bio-based textiles, one for smart and high-performance textiles, and one for digitalization for the textile industry, and also this ECOSYSTEX community that I'll say a few more words about in the next minute. And our core identity is also to help our members access EU funding by organizing an annual brokerage event where then our members can pitch their project ideas and others can listen, and then consortia can form to apply to these EU funding calls that are textile related. Actually, the next one of our brokerage events will take place in early February, so if you're interested in that, to have a look at what ETP is and what we do, and reach out if you're interested. Since you're a sustainability interested audience, I thought I'll also say a few more words about our circular and bio-based textiles innovation hub, because with the new year, a new program starts. And what is this innovation hub? Well, we bring together European textile sustainability experts to learn, network, and collaborate on the hot topics of circular and bio-based textiles. What is new this year? We developed a 6-month masterclass on textile EPR that will run from January to June. And this can either be part as a separate subscription, or you subscribe to the full Innovation Hub and then can also participate in all the other learning webinars, the meetups that we organize, etc. And something else that we will do in this Innovation Hub this year is work on a bioeconomy opportunities in the textile sector strategy paper that will then be basically given as input to the EU's bioeconomy strategy to open new EU funding opportunities and engage with related sectors. And in this Innovation Hub, we will have co-creation sessions to then write this strategy paper together. So there's another link in the chat in case you're interested in engaging in that. Feel free to have a look at that as well. With that being said, this is the agenda for today. We have 4 great speakers from 4 different interesting ECOSYSTEX member projects that prepared nice presentations for you today. So first we will hear from Myriam from the SOLSTICE project, then Diego from the REDOL consortium. After the first 2 presentations, there is some time for Q&A to the first 2 speakers, and then we continue with Milena from the ECHT project. And last but not least, Erik will present what the Integrano project is working on. And then there's also time in the Q&A to address questions to these two speakers. And in the end, I'll wrap up and also share some upcoming events from other member projects. In case you're joining us for the very first time and are very new to what ECOSYSTEX is, it's also always a good opportunity to explain sort of what kind of webinar you just joined. So ECOSYSTEX is the European Community of Practice for Sustainable Textile Ecosystem, and we launched it now 3 years ago with the goal in mind to really create a permanent expert community and a central knowledge hub for practical application of EU-funded science, technology, and skills development for textile sustainability and innovation. We bring together by now 85 different member projects, so our community has constantly been growing throughout these 3 years, and we organize different activities for our member projects, fostering inter-project collaboration by bringing the experts working in the different projects together, mostly through our 8 different working groups. Then we also occasionally engage with EU policymakers to consult all the expertise in the ECOSYSTEX community to then forward that to the EU policymakers to inform their policy and decision making. And we also are very active, of course, in dissemination activities, including, for example, this webinar, what we call the Insights Series that we organize roughly every other month. And we also organize an annual ECOSYSTEX conference that takes place in autumn each year. So with that being said, these are all our 85 member projects working on textile-related research and innovation. And here you can see the 4 projects that are with us today. So without much further ado, I'll bring back the agenda, and it's time to welcome the first speaker of today, Myriam Protiere from Axel'One, sharing with us what they've been working on in the SOLSTICE project. So please, Myriam, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Tila. Good morning to everybody. And thank you for inviting us to present the mid-project results of SOLSTICE. So just brief introduction. So SOLSTICE is a project working on circular economy of textile, and so we are now at the midterm, and I will present you the 4 main results that we achieved so far. So the first point is that we have been mapping the circular textile landscape in Europe, contributing to that because mapping everything will be really difficult. So the first point is to understand the current circular textile ecosystem. In the SOLSTICE project, we are 4 demonstrators. So as you can see on the picture, so one is Berlin, another one is Prato, the third one is Grenoble, and the last one is the region of Barcelona. And so the first action is that so we try to understand the current circular textile ecosystem. So as all of you know, the textile industry is really at a turning point. We are facing urgent challenges in sustainability, waste reduction, and circularity. And one major issue that has been identified is the lack of infrastructure and services to encourage repair, reuse, and repurpose of textiles, which prevents citizens from fully engaging in circularity. And so with this assessment, the SOLSTICE project emerged from this need to rethink how regional ecosystems can support circularity. So to achieve this, we have a partner called Circle Economy, in the Netherlands. And with over of the SOLSTICE partner, they focused on understanding the circular textile ecosystems in 4 key territories. So the 4 territories that are involved in the project, so Grenoble-Alpes Metropole in France, Berlin in Germany, Prato in Italy, and Catalonia. And the main findings of that are that these territories are different. So, for example, Grenoble stands out for a strong reuse and repair culture, so supporting a really high-tech and research-driven economy. In Berlin, Berlin has become Europe's capital of circular fashion, and creativity and sustainability meet innovation there. Prato, the city is a pioneer in the recycling and industrial symbiosis with a circular culture and deeply rooted on its textile history, and a lot of textile companies there in the city. And Catalonia, the region blends a diverse industrial base with really strong recycling infrastructure and a growing network of sustainable brands. So based on this, the partners made regional analysis of the European textile ecosystem. And so the analysis compared the 4 territories to understand how their local systems operate and where the circularity can grow on each territory depending on their specificities, if I can say. So while the global textile sectors remained largely linear, the study highlights the growing relevance of these territorial approaches that should be really adapted to the skills of the ecosystem. So circular services like repair, reuse, and recycling, we observe that they tend to cluster in urban centers, leaving peripheral area undeserved. And so each region shows a unique balance between production, consumption, and waste flow. And all this shows that no single model can fit all territories. If we give a short snapshot, we saw that Berlin and Grenoble, so they act as consumption hubs. They have small-scale production and concentrated repair or resale service, which are mainly in central areas. Prato, it stands out with its strong industrial base. So it exports 2/3 of the textile output, and it employs almost a quarter of its population in the sector. Catalonia collects significant textile volume, but still they depend heavily on the landfill and incineration with, at the moment, limited local reuse. So we see that across the cities and region, accessibility and employment are really diverse and different. And this calls for better integration of local networks and value chain actors. So based on this, opportunities and future direction have been identified. So the first one is to try to develop local repair and reuse services that can reduce textile waste exports while creating new employment opportunities, and also strengthen the recycling capacities in the region like Plateau and Catalonia. So the second point is that ensuring that these circular services reach beyond city center is really important. We should also try to reach suburban and rural areas. This is crucial to have broader impact. And finally, lasting changes. These changes require public investment, practical incentives, and strategies that, because it is without citizen engagement, the circular economy of textile cannot be reached. So strategies should be developed with local communities and also customized to the specific needs of each territory in order to allow Europe's textile ecosystem to grow as a whole. And so in the project, we try to engage citizens in circular textile practices. So we designed some pilots that depend on the territory. So here I will present 2 of them. In Berlin, for example, they choose, based on the study I just presented, to boost the adoption of jeans repair. So they developed what is called the repair deal. And the repair deal is a pilot program to encourage Berliners to repair their denim jeans, rather than discarding them. It combines a digital bonus system with local repair services. And so in order to create win-win ecosystem, so the customers, they save money, the repair shops, they secure some income, and together it allows to move toward the zero waste city vision. So how it works in practice. So the idea is to engage both consumer and customers with 2 complementary approaches. So the first one is that the Berliners, they can receive a digital bonus through just filling it a simple online form, and this allows them to give 50% discount. And then they have to go to the shop, they drop off their jeans at the partner tailor and who repairs it, and then they can get their jean to wear it instead of discarding it. And the repairer, it is paid by Circular Berlin for the 50%. In parallel, this pilot, it organizes repair days and community events where the participants, they can attend workshops, panel roundtable, evening events, and free repair station. The idea is to promote awareness, learning, and the active engagement with circular fashion practices. And the second example is in Prato. So they work on gamification to foster sustainable behaviors. So the choice that has been made based on the study done in Prato is to develop an app, so which is called the Green Apes app. It was guided by a participatory co-design approach. So they made several workshops providing valuable insights into citizens' daily practices, their motivation, the challenges in order to foster this behavior change related to clothing repair, reuse, and recycling. And so the collected data helps define preliminary set of the app functionalities to make it more efficient, so including, for example, educational contents, the spaces to share these best practices, social interaction, systems to validate the sustainable actions, as well as features for proposing or signaling local events or rewards. So how it works in practice? So the app has been launched in November 2025 with the aim to guide citizens towards more sustainable habits in a really simple, engaging, and free way. So they can explore, in the app, the users can explore this interactive content, such as videos, there are quizzes, there are articles to learn them how to take care of, repair, and recycle their clothing. And there is also a digital map on the app showing local points of interest, including some shops, workshops, or organizations that offer services for this clothing reuse and recycling. The app, it also encourages community interaction, allowing users to share ideas and best practices. Finally, there is the gamification system. It gives also, it rewards positive action. So you can gain points by engaging with content or checking in, participating at some repairing and, for example, actions. And it can be converted, the positive action can be converted into discounts, cultural experiences, or donation to local social or environmental projects. So then, apart from this, we also work on enabling textile circularity from working on the sorting to recovery. So we make some work on the pre-processing and sorting for chemical recycling. So here we both worked on the sorting. So the partner Pelink, they conducted 2 industrial pilots on Servizi Ambientali Space, who is in Prato, post-consumer textiles, and they used the Nouvelle Fit Textile automated line, which is in France. So then with the process, they integrated this dual stage sorting. So with the first hard point removal to produce a high quality feedstock that can be used, because hard point is most of the time a hard point for being able to recycle. And so these trials allow to successfully deliver PET, elastane, and polyurethane batches with PET purity reaching over 95%. We just faced the issue that polyamide-based fabrics could not be found in sufficient amounts in these mixed post-consumer textiles. And so despite we made significant progress in these automated textile sorting technologies, there are still some technical challenges remaining. These challenges include the detection of very low elastane content in mixed fabrics, because as As most of you know, elastane percentage is often really low, so less than 5%, and so the detection is a bit hard at the moment. And so, but it is critical to be able to allow accurate material classification as well as the sorting of multi-layered textile. So this is something on which we are working, and also the effective removal of plastic hard points, not metallic, remains a challenge at the moment. Another point on which we work is the thermochemical process for selective elastane removal. And here, as I said, elastane is one of the biggest barriers to recycling blended textile, because even if it is really a small part of most fabric, it's really tight to, it's linked to the other elements of the textile, and it's difficult to separate. So then it's not possible to do it most of the time using mechanical methods, and that's why we are working on the chemical recycling. And so to make the textile blends really recyclable, we need new technology to be able to selectively remove this elastane while keeping the other fibers, so the main fibers such as polyester or polyamide, in good condition. And here, this is our partner entity. They have developed a thermochemical process that dissolves elastane from PES elastane and PA elastane fabrics while leaving the other fibers intact. And so this system uses a closed loop system, and it allows to separate and recover the elastane, and the remaining polyester or polyamide can be reused. The tests that have been performed on the pre-consumer textile, it shows a really clear fiber recovery, and the reclaimed polymers have already been turned into non-woven panels and recycled pellets for new yarns. So this is illustrated on the next slide. So as you see, you have the pre-consumer mixed fabric with elastane, PET, or polyamide. We go through a cutting phase. Then there is the elastane removal treatment, and then at the end you have on one end the recovered polymers, and on the other end the recovered elastane. And the last point I wanted to point out today for this first result is the Valoramics tool, which has the aim to identify viable recovery pathways for textile feedstock. So Valoramics is a decision support tool developed by the partner Textile. It is designed for sorting, material preparation, and recycling professionals, and the idea is to help them optimize material flows and valorization pathway by placing economic simulation at the heart of the decision making. So the platform then makes it easy to test the transformation scenario, to simulate the material yields and cost, and to evaluate the potential technical and economic performance of each option. Then by putting this economic viability simulation at the core of the decision making, it offers a possibility to optimize the textile recovery and to accelerate the transition toward more circular industry. So step by step, how it works. The first step is that you have to characterize your feedstock, define materials, format, condition, and color to build shared framework across the chain. Then it allows to visualize the flow. It can map current textile feedstock streams from sourcing to valorization, uncovering untapped residual units. The third point is that it matches this with the right outlets. So it helps to evaluate the compatibility between the feedstock and the outlet's requirements, and to choose and prioritize viable pathways. And the last point is that it explores the scenarios and simulates the costs and performance, making some suggestion to rearrange the process steps and technologies to optimize this, compare different scenarios for valorization, generate cost estimation, and so to finally test the viability of each valorization route, and then to make decision on a sound basis. And so that's it for this results of the first half of the project. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'll give you the floor back, Tila.
Thank you very much, Myriam, for sharing, what happened in the first half of the Solstice project. And to our audience, you can type your questions to Myriam in the chat. Use this opportunity to have her here while we move to the second presentation of today's webinar. Diego from Circe, representing the REDOL consortium and talking about what they're doing in their project on regional circularity in action, the textile use case.
Yes, hello, good morning. Well, thanks, Tila, for the presentation, and ECOSYSTEX for inviting us to present our project. So I'm going to share my screen and try to present in an easy way the REDOL project that is the Aragon Regional Hub for Circularity. So our idea is to demonstrate local industrial urban symbiosis initiatives in our region. I will explain right now. So I'm working in Circe, that is a technology center located in Spain. And well, related with the project, I want just to say that part of these figures, as you can see in the map, we have several partners from around Europe. But the center of the project is Aragon region, that as you can see in Spain is the gray zone. It's a zone that is about 1.2, 1.3 million of inhabitants. And the capital of the region is Zaragoza, that we are going to focus our developments in this city that has about 700,000 inhabitants. So it means that more than the 50% of the people of the region are living in the city. This is the reason that we have involved in this project. The waste managers of the cities, also the municipality is involved, and a lot of companies that are around the city that are helping us to create this regional hub for circularity. Well, the project has started in December 2022 and is going to finish this year in November 2026. So we have a lot of results related with that, and we hope that by the end of the project can again share all these results with you, with all the aspects related with the textile sector. Okay, so I'm going to make just a presentation, a general overview of the project, and then we will focus in the textile solutions that we are developing. No, but just to see the problem that we have in Europe, is that we're facing about 500 kilograms per capita of municipal waste in the European Union, and well, looking for the circular economy action plan that has to be in 2030, we have to try to increase this the percentage of the solid urban waste that we are recycling or reusing. No, so in different sectors it has to be increased, but in general we have to go to from 45 to 65%. It's a challenge, and we are not sure if we are going to achieve it. We are in 2026, but this is the goal that the European Commission has some years ago. No, this is the reason that we have the REDOL project. This is the 5 objectives, the main objective that we have in the REDOL. I want to just to comment very briefly, but the first one is to develop novel sorting and recycling technologies. The second one is to obtain new raw materials from these new technologies and try to produce circular products. Yes, with the idea to help to Zaragoza, the capital of the region, to try to be zero landfill city for 2040. It's not an easy task, and well, I think that not only our project is working on that, but this is the idea, no? To try to help, or the solution that we are developing, try to help to the city. also very important, the objective 4, that is to establish a roadmap for replication. So it's not only, we are not only focusing in our city, also in other regions around Europe, and try that the solutions that we are doing, or some of the solutions that we are doing, and the new value chains that we are creating can be replicated in other cities. Finally, the fifth objective will be, well, engage people, institutions, companies, and the rest of the stakeholders around circular economy, and also the business models that we can create in the project. Well, just to show that in the project we are redesigning 5 value chains, not only textiles. So we are focusing packaging, mainly cardboard, and also paper that have, but mainly cardboard. Plastics, waste of electronic and electric equipment, construction and demolition waste, and the textiles. So we are focusing these 5 value chains. As you can see, our scope is very large, but well, we think that we have partners from all the value chains that can help us in this sense. And as I have commented, the idea is to have the impact in the transition to Zaragoza towards a zero residue city, or at least try to reduce this. So more or less, the idea is to make with this project and with all the initiatives that the city are doing, try to achieve for 2040 a reduction of 280 kilotons of CO2 and about more or less saving or obtaining 14,000 million euros of profits. But well, as you know, this is number that's very, very challenging for the city and in general for all the Europe. But the idea is try to reduce the rate of the solid urban waste that is going to landfill. Well, these are the 5 value chains. I'm not going to explain it deeply, but just I'm going to explain the main axis that we have in the project. So in the main axis that will be in the top will be the management, but focusing mainly in the sorting technologies that we are going to use for these value chains that are based in artificial intelligence and robotics mainly. Then we have the second axis that will be in the middle, that is the recycling technology. So we are developing new recycling technology for these materials that we have sorted in the previous task. Just with the idea of the last axis, that will be the green row, that is the use of such recycling materials, raw materials for obtaining new circular products. Okay, these circular products that are going to be obtained are automotive parts, consumer goods, cement, and in the case of textiles, the geotextiles. Okay, so this is in general the things that we are doing in the project. As I had commented, replication is also very important for the project, not just focusing in our region and in our city, in Zaragoza. So the idea is to have, or for that, we have 3 replication cities in the project. One is Amsterdam in the Netherlands, the other one is Bornholm in Denmark, and the last one, as in Solstice project, is Prato in Italy. Each of them, they are helping us to redesign the new value chains, but also they are obtaining some value data and knowledge from the new value chains that we are creating around our city, and try to obtain this information to use it in their cities. Okay, so now let's go into focus in the textile sector and the things that we are doing in the project. For the first one is for the textile collection, that in that case, well, as you can see, as I commented, all the things that we are doing are focusing in our region, in Aragon, in Spain, but we are a region that we don't have a lot of industry related with the textile sector. We just manage the collection of the textile due to regulation that we have in our city and in all the cities over 50,000 inhabitants in Spain. But in any case, we don't have any specific collection, recycling, or recycling technologies in our region. This is the reason that we have in this project the knowledge from Prato, no? So or the region for that, and the partners that are involved in the project are using their knowledge for training us in this sense, no? So just for comment, just very briefly, the current collection system in Prato. So in that case, Alia is who manages all the recycling, all the collection of the textiles in the region of Prato in the Tuscany, and more or less they are covering about 60 municipalities and around 1.5 million of inhabitants, no? More or less, if like in Aragon. No, so at this moment they collect post-consumer textile via street dumpers or containers and different collection centers, and accept all the types of clothes, no? So shoes, belts, bags, house textiles, etc. And after the collection, they make the current collection that they have. They assign it to different companies that are specialized in manual selection of the textile waste, no? And more or less 65% of the textile are reused, 31 is recycling, and more or less 4 are waste. But from the end of the year, the idea is that in Prato they have a new textile hub with a semi-automated plan for the selection and the treatment of the textile waste. Okay, so of course they are going to make also the reuse of the textile but then the recycling and the selection will be semi-automatic. No, so this is the idea that they have in the project in their hub, and in the project they are testing some of the solution to in the laboratory scale before implementing in the hub. Okay, so this is well, just the textile sorting system that they have developed in the project. So this is an automated textile waste sorting that can classify garments by color, composition, and fabric structure mainly, no? So they have implemented a sensor system and updated the database that they have in order to have this sorting system tested at TRL 6, so validated in laboratory scale before implementing in the Prato hub that is going to be finished by the end of the year. Okay, so well, this is some of the updated solutions or characteristics that they have in the new sorting system. I'm just going to comment that, well, now it's more hard. They have a rapid analysis, more precision, that are accurate about 95% of selection of the materials. It's modular. They have a moderate cost, and well, they have also improved the software in order to, well, all the things that they are doing in the laboratory could be scaled up in the hub. In any case, in the presentation that Attila is going to share with you, well, you have the link for a promotional video where you can check all this information about this sorting system, and also there are some public deliverables in the project that you can check, and you can see more information about this system. Okay, so this is for the, let's say, sorting, and now we are on focus in the recycling. In the case of recycling, yes, we are using the garments that NTT from Prato has sorted, and then is treated here in Spain in different partners in order to obtain this new circular products related with this textile sector. So as has been commented in the Solstice project, well, the main problem that they have with the recycling is the elastan. It's a problem in the blended textiles that they have. So, well, Entity has developed a system that is able to remove these elastan fibers using a non-toxic organic solvent. So, well, as we have commented, the idea is to use also in the hub, and more or less they have, as we have commented before in the other project, a purity of 96-98% of the polyester recovery that can be then used. So, well, once they have obtained this textile wise without elastan, this material are sent to AITEX and Circe that are using. AITEX is a research center focusing the textile sector, and both research centers are doing different, using different technologies in order to obtain PIT resin that can be used then for the last partner in the project, that is the ones that are going to produce the yarn in order to obtain after the solid state polymerization the new ECHT textile that we are going to use in the project, or we are going to test in the project. Okay, so testing different conditions and different approach with all the partners from AITEX and Circe. They are obtaining some good PIT resins that Brilliant can be at this moment obtained to test the geotextile. Okay, because it's not only to obtain the fiber, they have to be, or the resin, they have to be with very good conditions or enough conditions to obtain the geotextiles. So we are in this phase, so we don't have not obtained just the geotextile at this moment, but this is the last steps in the project. So just for finish, the next steps that we have commented, well, this is all the things that we have done, and for the last months of the project, well, we are going to manufacture the geotextile material that we have commented and validate in real conditions. And we are going to try to calculate some KPIs, make the SWOT analysis in order to see the things that we are doing in the project make sense in an economical and a technical way. And finally, well, the idea is with all this information, try to define the final value chains for the textile. No, of course, it's not going to change all the value chains, but well, to check that it's possible to add a new route for these value chains in the textile. Okay, so that's all from my side. So again, thanks a lot, Tila, for giving us this opportunity to present the REDOL project. And as we have commented, the idea is that by the end of the project, if we possible to present again the results of the textile value chains of the REDOL, we will do it in this Insights series, mainly probably with some of the technical partners that can explain you better than me the technical aspects of the project. Okay, so that's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Diego, for showing us what you've been working on in the REDOL project. Now we have some time for questions, and there were some in the chat for both Myriam and you. Let me start with you, Myriam, if you're still there. Yes. Okay, great.
Yes, I'm here.
So I'll read the first one out. It's by Stefan. Well, thanks for presenting the really various attempts realized in the project. You reported missing infrastructure detected. Which elements of the next steps need more focus according to your view? Is it quantity or scaling, visibility, practical accessibility for more consumers, awareness, readiness on the part of consumers to consider the offer in the occasional moment of need?
Thank you for your question. Yeah, I think that's all of this, as you said, because yeah, you have many. If you develop the solution, but people are not aware, they don't use it, and if they are looking for a solution and it does not exist, then so that's really why we work both on citizen awareness as well as on the solution that can be proposed, and that's why we had so many workshops, etc., with all the cities and all the citizens to try to find the best solution for all of this for each territory. But yes, still a long way to go, and yeah, I think all of this will be needed.
Okay, thanks for your answer. There's a second question to you also from Stefan concerning Valoramix by Textile. Evaluating an optimum use of collected feedstock should determine the sorting criteria applied, like resource cost added. How does this tool adapt to the constantly changing experiences, new developments, and changing demands at the user side of recycled materials?
This is a really good question, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not. I will ask the partner developing the tool because yeah, I'm not aware of all the technical details. But I think as it is at some point, I mean, you make the study thanks to the tool of the best scenario. Then I assume you have to stick. You make your choices at some point, and depending on the level of knowledge at some point. So for the adaptation, I don't know if it can be adapted afterwards or if you have to adapt yourself without the tool because you make the choice when you start. Yeah. Sorry for not being able to provide a more detailed answer, but I will ask Textile and I can come back to you with some elements if I get some.
Great, thanks Myriam for that. And now let's move on to the questions for Diego. So I'll just, start with the last one that was being asked. So what are the implementation plans in Zaragoza city beyond the project? Have you involved textile companies from the region, such as, I will not pronounce them correct.
Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, how is this related to the recent improvements at the CTRUZ facilities for plastic recovery? I'm sure you
I know
what is meant.
Yeah, it's the treatment plan of the solid urban waste here in Zaragoza. Okay, which are the plans? Yeah, the plans of the city beyond the project. So that's the question. At this moment, they are trying to just know better how we can manage these textiles that we are collecting in the city. But at this moment, they collect the textiles in the city. They send to some inclusive companies that using people for let's say selecting the best garments that can be reused, and the rest is sent to another regions from like Catalonia and so on, so that they are recycling or they are doing other things. So at this moment, Zaragoza don't have any plan for the future to modify this, but in the future, but for probably in the long future, probably they have the idea to try to recycling or find companies here in the region that can recycle these textiles and use it for that. No, we have involved some companies from the city, yes, the ones that are related with the project, not with the rest of the ones, because we are just let's say make some first trials if they make sense to do these activities or not. In the project, we have created a hub for circularity in the region, but it's more related with the not with the textile, it's more related with the other solid urban waste. But they have in the region, they are concerned about the circular economy and the recycling of the waste, but not related with the textile. So maybe we have to improve it in the next months. And well, and this is more or less the most important thing related with that. No, in any case, I think that we can talk with Guille in another place and discuss it.
Thank you. Well, let's take one last question for you, Diego, and then we need to move on because of time, and we still have two more presentations coming up. But there's also one from Stefan asking, how do you experience and handle in this context the cost of recycled materials by sorting and handling versus the quite low cost for example, incineration in the local premises and the low cost of many virgin materials?
Yeah, I think that that's a general problem with all the recycling products. No, the problem is that the virgin products are cheaper, sent to the landfill is cheaper for the companies that use the recycling products. That's the issue. So I think that the only way to use more this kind of recycling processes materials is by legislation. So it's the only way at this moment that I can find a good option to do it. But at this moment, it's cheaper to use virgin products or send to landfill. Of course, maybe if we have a huge scale of the recycling processes and obtain it with a low value cost, probably we can make sense to do it in the future. But at this moment, it's so expensive. We're not just making some trials in our project. And okay, so I think that just the legislation, like for example, in the bottles, that the water bottles that now they have to have a percentage of recycling PET. So probably this is the only way that also for the, for the textile sector could be interesting, If not, there's of course some companies that are using this kind of products and they are very, the costs are higher than the other products, but also they have an audience that prefer these products. But in any case, the cost will be larger than or higher than for the virgin ones. And this is one problem for Europe. Yeah.
Thanks for elaborating on that. And well, there are some more questions in the chat, but unfortunately we need to move on to the next presentation. So maybe we can connect you with the people who ask the questions, and then you can take it offline basically from there, because now, well, thank you for the two of you, of course, first of all. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Milena Amaral from Neovili to the stage, and share with us what they've been working on in the ECHT project. So Milena, if you're here, yes, please share your slides and take it away.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Till. And thank you, the platform, for this opportunity to exchange and also to listen. I suppose that you are listening well, no? It's all good, Till?
Yes,
Tila?
yes, all good.
Yes. Oh, and the slides also, no?
Perfect.
Yes, thank you. So thank you for this opportunity. It's very valuable, and I'm very interested in the work that I have done. I saw just before from the colleagues, so it's really exciting and interesting. And here we'll be moving forward in a different topic. And I will be sharing with you an initiative from our ECHT project. So launching a new work and a new working group. So and the idea is to build bridges and developing chemical traceability guidance for the textiles SMEs. So this is the first working group of our ECHT Traceability Hub, and it's open to large collaboration. So moving forward, Yes, just a quick introduction to the ECHT project, where we are enabling digital product passport with chemical traceability for circular economy and particularly SMEs uptake. So it's an Interreg Northwest Europe project running from 2024, finishing at the end of this year. And we have 8 project partners, and our lead partner is Sophia Darmstadt University. And we have some industrial partners and brands alongside with Puma, H&M, and the Inditex as associate partner also, Lacoste also, and we have also some associations, the German Environmental Agency, and 12 associated organizations covering industry associations, recyclers, data management experts, and also informing policymakers, NGOs also. And moving forward, just to share a bit the structure of the project. So our work is organized across 3 pillars. So the traceability strategy with scenario planning and theory of change, and then action plans for policy, textile industry, and also rugs and carpets. So we have also a correlated sector. And a capacity building program with workshops and tools where we have a measure, our measure output. It's the knowledge platform where we test and validate approach with the users, and there we have also an AI chatbot. So the ACT Traceability Hub, it's the idea is to have a collaborative initiative working to establish a traceability and transparency as a standard practice across Europe, and we have as vision to enable business to have practical tools. And especially supporting the SMEs to access and share reliable supply chain data. And the first impact area, it's chemical traceability for textile. So the idea is to address the traceability challenges, and the opportunity it's really to align some global frameworks and the standards to accelerate the impact, ensuring interoperability and within the data and the tools to contribute to shaping global practices, because we know that we are talking from processes that are across the value chain, and finally that we have a kind of a global exposure also. So for those that are less familiar, so what I'll be sharing today is that in our first working group we'll be developing a workshop agreement. So this is a practice that it's supported by an organization that it's called CEN. So it's the European Committee for Standardization Organization. It works developing and defining voluntary standards at European level. And the idea, and this is a process and a practice that we have some rules, and it's a consensus-based document that it's developed, and it's developed by a group of interested stakeholders, so namely the workshop, and it provides practical guidance, specification, and best practices in specific area. Why doing this? Because in the beginning, the scenario planning, as I shared with you, in our third slide. In the ECHT project, we mapped the influenced factors, and what came out is that standards and requirements, it's one of the top 3 most important factors impacting the challenges in doing chemical traceability. So the idea here it's really to build guidelines of chemical traceability, data collection and data management for textile value chains for the digital product passport implementation, particularly also supporting the SMEs uptaking. And we'll be building on a number of already work done. So I will be going quickly, not in the detail, but we have some guidelines on circular textile, circular economy, DPP implementation, data collection for DPP implementation on textile, and chemical disclosure, that it's the guide number 16. So we have a number of different standards that are already tackled somehow the challenge, but not specifically. And here we'll be narrowing down with this scope. And so, in a nutshell, this is a work that will be covering cross-cutting issues, of course, like climate change, health and safety, due diligence, health, work-life, well-being, economic development, sovereignty, and resilience. And always with this overarching idea of harmonization, simplification, governance in policy, taking consideration the different delegated acts, policy documents, and textile strategy that are guiding this work, and with the taking always in consideration the idea of conformity, certification, eco-design, and the different methodologies. And taking consideration our sector standards and regulation for deliver support to traceability strategy and management and monitoring schemes. And as I mentioned, the idea is really to develop actionable guidelines. And we are moving forward to I cannot change, no longer change to collect the document exchange chemical information. So the background, I will be quickly here. As I mentioned, it's a number of documents that are already somehow talking about chemical management. We have also our colleagues that led also a working group in the ETP platform and the ECOSYSTEX, the TRIC project, and they building on the data model foundation for supply chain traceability data. They just produced it last year. And there is work on circular economy, as I mentioned, and there is a relationship with national initiatives such as ChemX, where there is some work on the topic, but in the different sectors like automotive and painture. Alignment with international frameworks, UNECE and UN. And as I mentioned to you, the objectives is really to have a standardized protocol, defining minimum evidence, and provide SME accessible guidance. And one important thing is that there's a standard 16 that defines what chemicals to address, and the idea in this work is how to do it, and this is complementary. The stakeholder panel composition that we have at the moment, you have here a disclosure on the organizations and someone that it's represented citizens, consumer on a personal capacity, and we have the ECHT consortium, and here I will be passing quickly on the work that we plan to do. This is a preliminary working plan, and building on our, you see here, scenario story. We have a number of steps where we need also to arrive to consensus and to elaborate in order to understand their responsibilities. And then we have the SME implementation. In the right, the ECHT project developed a chemical traceability canvas, and the idea is also to build on this to have a self-assessment checklists and inventory templates, for example. Of course, taking into consideration the DPP integration. And moving forward, here we have a preliminary work plan and also a timeline. So the idea now we are building the whole coalition and completing the coalition that you saw before. And the idea is moving forward to to deliver this work at mid-year next year. So and here the whole process. So taking consideration and being mindful of our time, so we invite you to send your manifestation of interest if you'd like to join this working group. And we look forward to start this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Milena, for sharing also the invitation to everyone here to engage with your working group. So, well, of course, people can also ask questions about that in the chat. We move to the last but not least presentation of today. Erik from AITEX will share what they've been working on in the Integrano project. Please, the floor is yours.
Hey. Let's see, share. Integrano. Now you can see my screen, right? Correct.
Yes, looks good.
Okay. Well, this one a little bit here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Tilla and the ecosystem for the invitation. ECOSYSTEX for the invitation. I am Erik Macias. I am from AITEX, and let's try to deep dive into Integrano, Horizon EU project, delivering a multi-dimensional quantitative safe and sustainable by design assessment for nanomaterials and nano-enabled product across the real industrial life cycle scenarios. Okay, now the Integrano will run for 48 months. We have 13 partners, around 8 countries, and I'll try to focus on what we measure, how do we decide, and why we think that this matters for the textile and beyond. We are funded under the call for resilience. It started on January 2024 and will end in December 2027. We are halfway of it, and the core idea is to evaluate and optimize nanomaterials using the quantitative evidence like physical chemical characterization, toxicology, or ecotoxicology exposure to and assuring life cycle assessment. Our consortium lead partner is University of Milano Bicocca, and the rest of the 13 partners are over there. AITEX and Project Hub are running several other analysis. We have the Joint Research Center too, and let's try to gather a lot of robust data and translate it into a decision aligned with the SSBD from the EU. We support decisions for nanomaterials and nano-enabled products, reduce the research and development lead time and cost, increase transparency, and implement the framework from the European for the SSBD, and ultimately lowering innovation risks so companies can move faster with evidence based on real choice from real data. We follow, as I previously mentioned, the JRC SSBD guidance with a quantitative metrics and a contextual perspective based on best available techniques. We design of experiments, campaigns, use the standards, for example, like ISO 14040-44. For LCA, we develop nano-specific indicators. We define key decision factors and key performance indicators and apply the multi-criteria decision analysis to identify compliant design cases. Our whole work is around these 6 sectors: the textiles, cosmetics, water treatment, air filtration, foams, and food packaging, and covering organic, inorganic, and carbon-based nanomaterials. For example, the silver nanoparticles, oxide zinc, perovskites, biosilica, core shell titania, Egyptian blue, and carbon dots across 0-dimension, 1-dimension, and 2-dimension morphologies to create a real case with real data for the impact categories. Some of the examples are the case studies that we are working on are antimicrobial textiles using different techniques like spray or sonochemical coatings, water membranes with thermal or photocatalytic functions, bio-based polyurethane foams reinforced with the silica, air filters with electro-spun nanofibers, using the silver nano products or oxide zinc nanomaterial. The food packaging enhanced by these bio-based carbon dots, and in the cosmetics with UV protective from the biosilica or titania micropellets. But the industry is asking, what's our risk and exposure? Is this SSBD hard to apply? How easy is this decision making? How long and how much is actually gonna take us? Ultimately, these SSBD that everybody's talking about is real sustainable for our textile companies. So within the Intergrano, we are trying to answer this with data structure and our decision support system. The workflow is compliant with the framework from the EU with the SSBD and some standardized methods. We integrate performance, safety, and sustainability in early stages through characterization for toxicity, ecotoxicity, fate, and exposure with several LCA, LCC, LCCs, and with this MCDA to avoid high-risk routes and enable transparent comparison between different alternatives. These SSBD reduces research and development risk, since fewer necessary experiments means shorter lead times and lower cost. With our DSS tool, the multi-criteria challenge becomes very traceable. The team picks a balanced solution faster, and prevention is better than the cure. We rely on 5 pillars. This quantitative DMADV, which is define, measure, analyze, design, and validate across several stages. We stakeholder inform requirements. We harmonize and use fair data, and along with the DSS based on the MCDA, and everything is related with human-centric decision making. So we define the goals, the key KPIs, the KDFs, boundaries. We measure through experiments and reiterations and modeling. Then we analyze the impact and the multi-optimized design SSBD options with, as I mentioned, the human-centric trade-offs. and validate with samples or prototypes. And this eventually reduce the time to market, cost and resource use, and the implementation risk. Each life cycle stage becomes a subcase. Each dimension, for example, safety, is quantified, and then the gates let us iterate and redesign before moving forward. So non-compliant options are filtered out early. I'm going to go through the case number 4, which is considering air filters, which will take in account medical mask or HVAC filters or cabin filters. We need a porous, intricate structure to remove particles and microbes. Jet current electrode pleated media often lack biodegradability, and post-COVID volumes amplify the waste. So our target sustainable filters functionalize with antimicrobial agents. The goal for this case is to apply to cellulose acetate filters functionalize with the silver hydroxyethylene cellulose, or the oxide zinc, or the Egyptian blue nanomaterial, with a lower cost, a lower environmental impact, and a lower health risk. So we have the life cycle stage 1 for the nanomaterial, and then life cycle stage 2, for example, of the incorporation of that nanomaterial to create a nano-enabled product. We set a minimum of sufficient design of experiment. We need at least 6 combination with replicates to evaluate the cost, how the environmental impact, and the functional performance and the safety. And then we define the KPIs and the KDFs for optimization. For example, for the life cycle stage 2, we analyze either spray coating or electrospinning with the cradle to gate boundaries with a functional unit, let's say 1 meter square of coated fabric. And we all, as I mentioned, we already consider the electrospinning cellulose acetate nanofiber webs as an alternative. So we compare both the spray coating and the electrospinning with different nanomaterials to host this different the hydroxyethylene cellulose silver or the oxide zinc. Then we optimize the cellulose solutions and the electrospinning parameters, the polymer percentage, green solvents, nil configuration, collectors, and then scanning electron microscopy confirms that the fiber quality and dispersion potential for the active. We crack functionality between antimicrobial versus the E. coli or the S. aureus. We monitor the process yield, the cost, the global warming potential, human toxicity, and physicochemical features, hydrodynamic diameter, or the CETA potential, the pH, and composite KPIs like performance, cost, and yield for trade-offs. And we are gathering all this data between all the partners. So the methods include antimicrobial activity, AA, the long reduction, life cost, cycle cost, the ISO compliant, LCA, midpoints, and experimental yield, size, and CETA. The criteria maximize functionality and yield per cost, and then we might minimize the GWP and human toxicity. So the winners are effective, affordable, and safer. 2 design levers, for example, here, it's the hydroxyethylene silver molar ratio and the sodium oxide molar ratio. between them. Tuning them shifts the stability, size, and charge, affecting the efficacy, the cost, and the impact, thus defining this design space. And once we gather at least these 6 points that cover space efficiently, each point will yield a characterized sample with a functional, economical, and environmental and safety readouts, the decision quality data without over testing. The data generation combines the characterization and functional test, toxicity. So we have different endpoints and emission sampling and system modeling. And everything is obviously harmonized under FAIR principles for traceability and reuse. Once we combine all these data to run several functional tests with different endpoints and emission, we will run LCA, LCC, and social life cycles. And we do it with these multi-optional 360 decision support system that it's been running through our project partner PRG 360. Then we are able to interpret and find some negotiation on different features like safety or sustainability. The DSS visualizes the performance space, links the design option and the outcomes, and together with our data management tool and creating this digital twin makes a trade-off to try to be as transparent, comparable, and fast, so we can give the SMEs this digital twin of how the nanomaterials and the nano-enabled products are actually working. To try to make it very simple, we compare here the safety, and we can see that we have, I'm not showing here. We have the highest efficiency, and then we can see that it's the lowest safety, or we have less efficiency but the highest safety. So we have different trade-offs, different performance and benefits. Oh, now it's changing. So we can see that we have some options some might deliver a high efficiency, but a higher risk. Others may offer a lower impact with acceptable performance. And with all this data that we are gathering from these different case studies, analyzing different methods to enable these nanomaterials, and through a very thorough stakeholder negotiation to select through a human-centric, using the SSBD option that matches the context, we can finally find the best solution with the minimum lose in performance, or depending on what is the most relevant impact that we need to find. So this is a graph, or how can we represent these relative contributions, how the different impact of the nanomaterial around human toxicity, or the cost, the effects of different fabrics or different finish, and how they impact, so or different finishings, the fresh water, toxicity. These features, it's a data-driven, quantitative, very case-specific. We use this stage gates requirement and sufficient harmonized data. And the benefits, it's a lead time, 60% cost reduction, and up to 80% lower risk in cost. This is very challenging, integrating safety and sustainability with nano-specific toxicity categories. And we are very happy that we already launched our free knowledge and data exchange hub, the SSBD hub, since 2024, where we need these stakeholders to sign in, so we share and gather information and share with them through webinars, training, matchmaking, and a lot of information they are putting together over there related with this case study. So I please encourage the community to log in and learn more about what we are working on in Integrano. Thank you very much for paying attention, at least a little bit. I hopefully that I deliver as clear as possible an easy way this method, trying to apply the SSBD in different cases for nanomaterials. Thank you very much, and please stay in contact.
Thank you very much, Erik, for sharing with us more about the SSBD assessments for nanomaterials. And we're, of course, also thank you again to Milena. And well, we're running a bit short on time, but I still wanted to maybe ask at least 1 or 2 questions to you. So if you have any questions to Erik, please type them in the chat. Milena, there are 2 for you, so I'll start with the last one by Inga. Well, thank you for presenting the project. What could be the roles of the people that would be joining the working group of the project? She's wondering if you're looking for experts or students to be able to join the tool for testing. Can you hear us, Milena? Or
sorry, I missed the question. Yes, please,
okay.
Please, if you can kindly repeat.
Of course. Yes. So Inga asked for this working group in the project, what kind of profile are you looking for? Is it more really experts, or also students are welcome to join in this working group to then test the tool?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this question. Yes, eventually students are invited to join the group in a role, because yes, we have different roles. So in a role that could be on representing citizens and consumers, for example. And it's very important to have the next generation also, because when we are talking about waste management and chemicals traceability, it's related to waste management. There is a notion of time. So definitely they are invited to join if they would like. And if they agree, they will be representing citizens and consumers. And but do not hesitate to approach us via email. Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. And I'll ask one more question by Stefan to you. Well, it's a bit longer, but basically, I guess, playing a bit of devil's advocate and being a bit critical. He has 2 questions, coming back to the base goal, protecting consumers and workers from hazardous substances. So he says chemicals are highly complex and variously applied in textiles since generations. Much is proprietary process know-how, which will be hardly shared. How much this proceeding is supporting hiding and greenwashing?
Yes, a very good question. In fact, to be very transparent with you, in our scenario planning, our scenario stories, our theory of change, the idea of ECHT, it's to have a full material declaration. So, and when we are talking about DPP implementation, we are talking also about information that could be verified and that it's reported could be verified. So the idea is that we have in mind the green claim substantiation. So the idea is really more on transparency and traceability than on substantiating green claims with only declarations. So it will be needed information, real information will be needed to have a chemical traceability. So in our work, if I may, I don't think that we are kind of promoting green claims that are not substantiated, because there is this very important premise on having data, primary data that could be verified and that will be reported via DPP. So this is the idea. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And well, there were some more questions in the chat, but unfortunately we're short on time. So everyone that has a question still to our speakers, we're very happy to put you in touch with them. So just maybe send ETP info textile textileplatform.eu an email, and then we're happy to facilitate the contact. I'm sure all our speakers would agree to that. So taking, the last minute, I will now share some upcoming member events. But of course, first I wanted to say thank you to all our 4 speakers for taking the time and sharing what you've been working on in the projects. I'm sure it was very interesting for everyone here. So now I'll bring back my slides just to share some upcoming events with the audience. So we will have, 2 online workshops and webinars by our member Craft IT for SD project, focusing on fashion business models and climate impacts. Next week and then in early February. The second one will focus on future sustainable fashion business models. Then from Integrano, the project that was presented here, there will be a webinar going more into detail on the SSBD framework and policy at EU level on the 9th of February. That is open for you to register to attend and learn even more about the project. Then on the 17th of February, the Hemp for Circularity project will have its final event taking place in Brussels, of course, focusing on, as it says here, weaving Europe's circular hemp future. So you can also register for that if you're around in Brussels around that time. And then there will be a Pro-Planet webinar focusing on PFAS free by design, also then advancing SSBD for a safer tomorrow on the 5th of March. And then the next day, on the 6th of March, we will have our next ECOSYSTEX Insights Series webinar. You can find all these events and the links to register on the ECOSYSTEX website in our news and event section, where we will always update anything linked to project events that we know about. So now we're coming to the end of today's Insight Series webinar. Please do stay in touch with us in case you don't already. Follow ECOSYSTEX on LinkedIn. We also share project news and events there, as well as our YouTube channel. If you're not signed up to the mailing list, of course, you're very welcome to sign up there and then receive also new webinar invitations, etc., directly to your inbox. All these things can be easily found on the ECOSYSTEX website. So that being said, yes, thank you for everyone also that asked questions in the chat, to all of you. And now wishing you a lovely rest of the Friday and then a good weekend ahead. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.